Here's a quick tour of the upper swale, and this is the end of its second full year. This is put in fall, so this fall is starting its third year basically. So we got an apple tree to start things out, and these are all dwarf trees, so none of them are very big. And I've planted miscellaneous things too. There's some mint and there's onions in there and lots of native weeds, but the bees like it, so I let it go. And there's some poke, I let that go. I'll chop and drop that multiple times in the year and just stick them around these fruit trees here. There's some tobacco and comfrey there, and there's a melon that never did anything. And there's an apple tree. And those are two different varieties. We've got 4 different types of apples in this place now at this point. There's a cherry. It's pretty good size. It's a good 10 feet. You selected all my trees. All these are from Stark Brothers, but I was going for disease resistant, and this tree, I don't know what the deal is, but it's still growing, but no fruit. So anyways, maybe next year. And I believe this is a plum here, but you can see the swale. This is about half the size of the swale down below, so it don't have a ton of catchment. Mostly it's coming from that barn that you see over there, but it all slopes here. So this was mostly full after one of those 8-inch rains, but there's just not enough catchment here that it's ever gets crazy like the other swale does. So that is a nectarine, I believe. And then there we have a peach tree, which I expected to produce this year, and it made one little peach and died. And here's a bunch of flowers in here, and it looks terrible because we don't really do anything with it. Just let it do its thing, but it's definitely pretty in the spring. Most of these were given to us, so we just planted those. There's a bunch of mint down there. And I think that is another plum tree and a couple of pear trees before I knew we would be grafting pears like crazy. And here's our figs over here. I took some cuttings of these recently, and we're going to try to propagate these. Figs don't really love our winters. That's a Chicago Hardy and some other variety that I got from Edible Landscaping. But that's the second year for that one, first year for that one. But we got a good amount of figs from it, so that was cool. That's probably our best producing fruit so far. And a weed surrounding our little pawpaw tree, which is pretty much lost all its leaves at this point, but it's hanging out. And some more miscellaneous squash. The squash bugs seem to forget about our squash and our vine borers forget about our squash when we plant them randomly like this. So that's what I do. We get them. I'm not sure what that is. If anybody has any ideas what kind of tree or whatever this is, it looks like it has some tiny little thorns on it. I don't know what it is though. This came up this year, and you can see we don't have other places for our compost. It goes in there when we're doing another batch somewhere else. That is milkweed. Trying to get some monarchs on our property this year. So planted a couple up here, a couple down on the lower swale. There's a persimmon that is constantly ate by bugs, which kind of surprises me because they grow natively. And there is a mimosa tree. At least that's what we call them around here. Not native, but I think they fix nitrogen, so I started that from seed last year. So lots of growth out of that one. There's a pawpaw there. That one's finally starting to do something. Pretty sad for a 3-year-old tree, but seemed to get kind of happy this year with all the rain we got. And the back side of the swale. So you can see we kind of mow up to the swale and then let it do let it go wild and do its thing. But there's another random pear tree. Didn't notice that. Maybe I'll graft that guy. May have enough room in there. We'll see. Here's a Japanese pagoda. Heard mixed stories whether this fixes nitrogen or not, but the horses next door munched on that pretty good for 2 years, but this tree has been abused beyond belief, so the fact that it's alive is awesome. One more thing that if anybody has any thoughts on, this over here is, I found this growing on our property. I don't know what it is. There's a decent look at the leaves. See if I can focus on that. And there's some of the flowers. Anybody has any idea what this is, I would love to know. It's got a very kind of minty smell, but different than any kind of mint. But definitely kind of in that genre, but the leaves look completely different to me and the flowers look different. So if anybody knows what that is, I would love to know what it is and what it's good for. It smells great. And when it's flowering, the bees go to town on it. So anyways, that is the first swale that we built. Kind of a mess, but I kind of like it. The bunnies like it, the bees like it, the dog likes to chase the bunny. Anyways, that's it for now. If you guys like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, give me a thumbs down. And please subscribe.